Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Brad and I are doing our discussion over Too Many Bones, Unbreakable, the newest and last, so far, content that was released for Too Many Bones. Although in that video where they're talking about how fitting it all in the trope chest, the guy kept saying, like, hey, if we ever release more stuff, so it's like...
I think it'll just be like promo characters,
Yeah.
like a little thing here and there.
It's
kind of like this, kind of like Riffle, you know, how they just popped up one time and stuff. It's...
Yeah, which I haven't even played Riffle, but I've seen
either.
him play, and I'm like, really? An actual deck of cards?
Mm-hmm.
So we just got done playing a 4-player game of stuff with the exclusive Unbreakable stuff. So the 4 characters we have right now is Figment, Gale, Carcass, and Static. And, I mean, honestly, like, there's not, for me, like, in terms of, like, the Unbreakable stuff, if you love Too Many Bones, it's more content.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't love Too Many Bones, this is not going to sway you.
No.
So...
I like the added feature of the lava chips in the board was kind of cool because it added a little more strategy to movement and stuff.
Yeah.
Because some of those games, you know, you just kind of get caught in a... You just sit there and just beat on each other for a little bit. But
Exactly.
You had to kind of move sometimes because you were taking damage from lava. And
Right. Undertow did stuff similar with the raft breaking. So with both of those, they at least kind of made you move a little bit. But Too Many Bones has never been about tactile movement. It's been more about... you do move occasionally, but it's all like... It's very just puzzle-esque. Like, this is not the game. These are the games. So, I mean, yeah, like, it's just a different area, really. It's like you're underground, so the encounter cards you have are themed to going into the break, is what they called it. Yeah, the lava map with the rock and lava spots was one of the, like, pretty much the only newest thing. I don't know. Like, I don't have, like, a whole lot to talk about because I've done a discussion over Too Many Bones. We've talked about Too Many Bones in our top 100.
Right.
It's more, like, it's just more.
Yep. It's just extra stuff. And the gear locks, if we want to talk about them a little bit,
Yes.
I mean, they are, again, unique. Mm-hmm. You know, all the gear locks that are out, every single one of them plays differently, and they're balanced neatly. You know, and stuff, and they're really, of all the gear locks in the whole deal, there isn't any of them that are really close to each other. They all are very unique.
Yeah.
in their style.
I don't think there's been a single one that I've played that's been like, this is kind of like this character. It's like, no.
Because like Carcass, I wanted to play Carcass because anytime he killed something, I got to put him on a meat hook and I could cook them and make recipes, which gave me
or
abilities.
shuck them like corn and use their skin.
Them as, and I even have a damn cookbook.
A legitimate cookbook.
Yeah, and stuff. So, I mean, it was just really neat, the theme of him being able to, because I wanted to kill some to be able to use their bodies and their meat to do different other stuff. And Static, I really didn't get to use this stuff a whole lot. And I didn't get to use his movement, his fighting style a whole lot because it requires a lot of movement. And I only got to do that a couple times because in 4 players, there's just not as much movement on 16 spaces on the board.
Well, that's why this game is so great, is that there are so many, like, ways to play these characters that you didn't go the route where you wanted him to build up and just do, like, one massive hit. You built him as more utility. It's like, okay, these abilities that this level 20 has is really annoying. I'm going to use that completely gets rid of their keywords. It's like, oh... Okay.
Right. Even though I kept rolling bones.
But in theory, that's what should happen. It was interesting in this 4-player game we had. We both had characters that did better than the other ones. Like I had Figment going off more than I had Gale, and you had Carcass go off more than Static. But I still felt like they were all doing stuff. Out of the 4 here, like if I had to rank these 4, I'd probably do Figment, Carcass, Gale, then Static.
I would
That's kind of how
that.
I put it. Like Figment,
of course, I didn't do a whole lot of his skill stuff.
Yeah.
Because I followed the the beginner builds stat just because it takes a while, several games to learn these guys. And I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that I could have utilized more. I was trying to pump up decks and stuff and different odds and ends. So he may be better played differently.
I'm sure he's great.
So
Gale was extremely interesting because she has like these really powerful abilities that are like crucial to her build that you have to use her mechanic protocol, which is a 3-bone thing, to unlock that spot. And then as long as you have something else in that grouping, you can start using it. So I wanted her to be like our defensive powerhouse, and she can absolutely do that where it's like her 3 things. It's like, okay, like she's immune to basically all the negative status effects as long as that's in there. And every time she uses her purple defense, she just gets an innate defense coming in, which is really cool. And with like her wind funnel, it's like, oh, what's your attack going to be? 8? Yeah, it's actually 1 right now.
Yeah.
Or okay, we could, like in the Tyrant fight we had, it's like, okay, we killed 3 people and more are coming in. Actually, I would use blowback and prevent all of them.
Yep. Yeah, and we talked about this before, and it got reaffirmed because this is the first time I've played with more than 2 Gearlocks. Because this is the first time I ever played with another person. So it's a longer game anyway. I mean, you can kind of choose depending on your timer that you pick and the length. This took 4 hours.
Yeah, and that was
for this, which it was fun. It was the 4 hours flew by. I mean, it was
like, oh,
right. But I still think this is the best at best with, in my opinion, with 2 Gearlocks on the table.
Yeah,
whether it's 2
I would
players,
agree.
each doing 1 or 1, you can double control on 2.
Yeah,
just because of the time. I mean, it
was nice to see more 20s.
It was, yeah, just see the big guys and stuff. Yeah.
Because usually by the end of the game, you might get 120, or a potential encounter could bring one in, and you're like, oh, well, we lost.
Right. But yeah, I mean, this didn't change anything with that. I mean, that's just too many bone system in a nutshell. I mean, it's better, I think. Unless you want a long game. If you want to make it a long game, I mean, shit. We even finished this scenario a day early.
Yeah.
Because we could have drug it out another deal and probably would have taken another hour.
I know.
So I mean, we jumped into the Tyrant early.
Yeah. There is something to be said about having multiple Gearlocks, though, because in 2, you don't really get a synergy between a party, and here you absolutely did, utilizing everyone's strength and in their builds to help out the party. Like Carcass, for example, where he could like divvy out health, like he could give everyone food. Well, that's cooler when you can divvy it out to 3 other people versus just one other guy. And Figment, like having like the initiative control, or just being like having the way I built him, I went the staff wielder to do the passive buffs that helped out very specific people at specific times. So I mean, Too Many Bones is just a way that you want to play. Do you want to play true solo? Well, it's like, oh, Figment is a 3 difficulty solo. I can absolutely see that.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying, I mean, play it at 4. That's fine. You just know that it's going to be a long experience. And it does get easier the more Gearlocks you have. You may not think that when you start dropping these 20s out and stuff, but you overwhelm them with you have 4 people with all their abilities and stuff. So it does get easier the more people you play it. The game just gets a lot longer and stuff. So I mean, go into it knowing that, but it's going to be great no matter how you play it.
Exactly.
Like this was a fun 4 hours.
Right.
Like we've played other games that have taken that long that we've been miserable through.
Do we have to? Yes, Brad, I'm sorry. We got to do a review.
Yeah. So I mean, this is...
And just the fact that you can just take Unbreakable stuff and only play in that, or only in Undertow, or you can mix it all together. They have adventures where you go through all the different regions.
Yep.
Especially now with everything out, there's just unlimited replayability with this game that, again, if you're on the fence with Too Many Bones, or if you're thinking, well, I have the base game, should I get Undertow or should I get Unbreakable? I actually like Unbreakable better.
I do too.
I think the theme is cooler.
Yeah. the board's cooler. I think the base game, because the base ones are static and
It's
not Figment. It's the other
Gale.
one we didn't play. There was Gale and the other
Gale's
girl.
on Gale's and
It was Gale and
well, nope, it's Gale and Figment.
oh, those two. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the two I played.
Okay. Those two are really good. Like I like those
Yes.
two better than the ones that came in Undertow. Because
Stanza and,
it was confusing as hell, and
Stanzas.
and Dart was the other one, wasn't it?
Is it
the
Dart?
hero version of Dart.
I don't remember now because I got them all at
I think
once.
it was
so
Dart and Figment. I think
you mean Dart and Stanza?
Stanza.
Yeah. I remember the first time like I played this with Kat. She's like, "I want to be the bard." I'm like, "Okay," and then what do I do? And I'm like,
Yeah, that was one of the criticisms.
Nope.
Because people were like, Undertow's a good jumping in point for Too Many Bones. Because it's just the two. But it's like, why would they choose a more difficult
"Yeah,
people to do? It's like, they could have thrown these.
yeah," because Figment is a difficulty 2 and Gale is a difficulty 1.
Yeah, and I had a 1 and a 3.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, the difficulty is honestly arbitrary. It really, actually,
It's just because
I don't know how they differ.
It's just because of
Yeah.
having the deck and shit.
I felt she was more difficult to get going than he was.
and that's it. And that was the same. That was kind
Yeah.
of the same with mine. This one was harder to get going than him, even though he had all the extra stuff.
Exactly.
You know.
So who knows what they mean by difficulty? It probably means nothing.
Well, it's interesting how they do a difficulty co-op and solo.
Yeah.
It like gives you a different.
Yeah.
But
So I guess if you do have, it's like, do you want like underground lava world with, or do you want river sea creatures? Like it's kind of like the way you want to go. But I can definitively say that Gale and Figment are the two best starting ones. They're the ones that came with Undertow. But honestly, just get it all and have it all.
have it all. Or
Like-
own it multiple times like you have.
I have sold it. This is actually, I usually when I sell games, I don't rebuy them. But I did sell Too Many Bones. It shipped it, and it showed up at that guy's house completely destroyed. I'm like, that's on UPS, man.
As cool as that trail box is, it's pretty,
Like the most
pretty
fragile
brittle.
thing. It's like, put it in the Calyx shelf and never
Yeah.
fucking move it.
Exactly.
Luckily, though, I can't say with everything, it was nice that they, it does all fit, which is cool, with a little finagling, but at least they didn't release an expansion. They're like, here's the Unbreakable stuff. Yeah, it doesn't fit in the trove chest. We didn't even try.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they did make it work. Yeah, this is one of those kind of weird reviews, though, just because, like, Unbreakable is... It's more content. Like, it's not like, oh, it throws Too Many Bones on its head. It's like, it gives you more badass characters, more events, more tyrants.
Mm-hmm.
And for a game like this that's already kind of a lifestyle game, it just makes it that much more. Like, if I were to like own like a very small amount of games, Too Many Bones would be one of them, because then you could learn the ins and outs of the thing about Too Many Bones, and especially here when we were trying to run two characters that we hadn't ever played before, is you're buried in every time you're looking, you're buried in this thing, and it's a lot. Like, Too Many Bones is easily their most complex
I
game.
just don't see how in the hell they do it. I mean, it's
I
like
know.
all these key terms and
Yeah, nothing's universal.
yeah,
Like,
it's
for it.
crazy.
It's-
Well, and the next game, Elder Scrolls,
Oh yeah.
is based upon
You're
this
right.
game system, but not up a notch. So it's probably going. It uses the same battle system apparently,
Okay.
but it's going to be up a notch and a little more in
Really?
depth and stuff. So that might be their most complex after that. So I think that's why they quit Too Many Bones, is because they're using kind of what they've learned through this process, and that's what they're putting into the Elder Scrolls
Okay.
deal. So people jokingly call it Too Many Bones 2.0.
Okay.
Just
That's
because but yeah, this is. I will say, playing this with another person actually makes learning the gear locks easier, because me playing it solo all the time, I'm sitting here. It's nice to bounce off questions. Like when I had a couple questions, like what in the hell does that mean? And having a second person
like,
look over it.
This is how I'm reading it. It's like, oh, this is how I'm taking it.
Right.
Oh no, that does make more sense.
Because I'll say, I mean, usually I really have to play Gearlocks several times to really get the gist of them, and we kind of picked these up fairly quickly, really.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, I mean.
The one good thing about they have struck a balance where it's like every Gearlock that comes out, they do feel completely different, but they're not like left field, like where it's like, what the fuck? Like you learn it and you take it, and they all have like a kind of almost a cadence to them that it's hard to explain because like the keywords aren't universal. It's not like, oh, they took this ability from patches and just tweaked it to make it fit someone else. So they didn't do that, but yeah, once you play a lot of Too Many Bones, you kind of get an understanding of how the Gearlocks are going to work, where to look on the sheet when you're like, oh, okay, so what does that symbol mean? Oh, there it is. Ah, that's what that does. So you just got to play it a lot to get the flow of characters, but still got to learn the characters. And yeah, I agree. I would never play this at 4 again. I would probably max out now at 3 though. Like, because we talked about it the other day of how online on BGG it says best of 3. And I guess because it's one extra person, you get to divvy out special abilities, but it's not going to be as long.
Yeah. I think it just depends on, because I mean, I'm not going to say I'll never play it at that again, just because, like I said, took a long time, but we still had fun.
Yeah.
Like if you had people that love the game, then yeah, go for it. It turns into your day game, you know. But yeah, I play it by myself, and I only go 1 or 2. Most of the time, I run 2.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I always do is run 2.
I see. Yeah, I've usually only ran 1.
Yeah.
Like whenever I play solo, it's just okay.
When I'm testing them for when we talk about ranking them and stuff like that, I play them solo.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? But like when I'm playing for myself,
gotcha.
Then I run 2.
That makes
just
sense.
because you can try to have a synergy.
That's true.
You know, and stuff.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, this is outstanding.
Yep, I agree. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving Unbreakable?
I'm gonna give it the same that I give all my other Too Many Bones stuff. This will be my 10.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all my other Too Many Bones content is 10.
Do I have Too Many Bones ranked right now?
It's just the only part of Too Many Bones that I've never messed with because it sounds too convoluted is the that one expansion they came out with,
Splice and Dice.
The Splice and Dice.
Yeah.
I haven't really messed with that.
Same.
It's just more.
I haven't messed with the 40 days stuff. But
I haven't either, but that's just gonna be
it's like just more content,
campaigny content stuff. So it's. But anyway,
they're build a tyrant and all that.
Part.
It's like, oh no!
Because every time you kill a baddie, then you slot it into a different deal. It creates the.
It's like, I don't want to mess with that.
But I have it because I want everything, but yeah, 10 all the way, all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the rating that I actually have on BGG. So this is actually a 6. No, it's like what? No, it is. It is. I have it as a 9, and I'm gonna keep it as a 9. Because my only complaint is I do wish, which makes me kind of excited that you said that about Elder Scrolls. The maps and the combat, which is still a lot. I mean, every baddie you fight, you do. That's kind of the whole point. It is kind of a lot of. Well, we're not really doing anything with this. Like once you have the puzzle figured out, then it is kind of go through the motions a little bit. Especially the Tyrant fight that we just did. It was kind of like. Once the big hitters were out of the way, it's like, we don't really need to continue. Especially when you have Figment, who is like, you have no threat of it ever going to the rounds. It's like, nope. Round 1. Then it's like, well, we can probably just say we beat them.
I'd be interested to know how using the lava would change with running 2 characters.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you'd be able to move around and pull people more, and using his ability where I was pushing people away and stuff.
Yeah,
our board was so crowded because most of the time we had 8 characters on there all the time.
Yeah,
and there's only 16 spaces, so you can really only move so much.
Exactly.
In a 4-player game too.
Yeah.
So 2-player, I bet would be
And like I
funner.
said, it's a very minor thing. It's not like I'm sitting there like bored out of my mind,
Right.
because the puzzle still is there and the threat still is there. Because I mean, one bad die roll of someone getting hit, it's like, oh, that was the majority of my health. All right, neat. We don't have any, and we also just played against difficulty, game length 1, which I also think that's meant to be based off of their difficulty. So we did rock and roll, which thematically was cool, but it's like, it's clearly meant to be the tutorial because they fucking kill each other. So it's like, all right, like, you won, yay! But still, like, yeah, it's fantastic. Eventually we'll get to the rankings of these gear locks.
I don't have one. I haven't. Well, I guess I haven't played those two, but I've seen them played enough to know how they work.
Two now. I haven't seen.
Riffle's the only one I haven't messed with now.
No, you have.
Stanza.
Stanza and Polarity.
Oh, the other add-on.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that one. Yeah, so there's 3 that I need.
Yeah, those are the ones I'm missing as well.
But
But
Riffle's gonna be a blast. I have a feeling.
oh god, his deck is just so cool.
Well, and there's 2 jokers that
Yeah.
aren't in their deck that there's a puzzle in Shale, the automaton, that if you figure out that riddle and let them know, they mail you the 2
That's
jokers that go into his deck.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's why I bought this automaton.
Gotcha.
So I could try to figure out this damn riddle to get
Nice.
those 2 cards.
Yep. So yeah, so that's our thoughts on Unbreakable. Let us know what you think of Too Many Bones or Unbreakable specifically in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.